And we're live. Hey. Alrighty. Huh?
Nice touch.
What, the nerd?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I just love that soundbite. And I know the episode it's from, and it's one of my favorite. I think it's also the one where he basically screams, I am so smart.
Yeah,
SMRT.
SMRT.
I mean,
No,
SMART.
as he's burning down the house.
Yes. So.
I don't need my high school diploma anymore. Burns down the house.
All right, so we are live on Facebook. We are live on Twitch. We are live on the YouTubes. So, hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. We're going to get things going here. We're all shared out, dude, so we can go whenever you're ready. I've got my red button almost ready, and I'm using a different setup tonight because my laptop is too loud and way, way annoying. So, hold on a second, though. I'm having an issue here.
No worries, no worries.
I don't know where the mouse went on my Mac. There it is.
Uh-oh.
All right, there's that. Well, I'm using this Synergy program, which is great because it lets me go between the computers with one monitor, with one mouse and keyboard. But yeah, exactly. All right.
Every now and then decides to have a conniption.
Right. All right. So I'm on red buttons. You red buttoned?
Yeah, sure.
All righty. 3, 2, 1. Click. Greetings, salutations, and welcome to the PlanesTalkers podcast, the show by casuals for casuals. I am your host, Will Benson, joined as always by my, hey, I kicked your butt last night in Magic, but that's because I'm better at this than you, co-host Aramis Perez. Aramis, how are you tonight, sir?
That is right. I think there was a point about 4 games in a row. You did maybe a total of 1 damage?
No, I did get a shot in. I think there was like a 10 shot. So.
Oh, 1 whole shot.
So. Yeah, that was a night and a half, and let's go ahead and get right into it. Okay, well, boy, we got some information from our sponsor tonight, as we like to do. Before we start every show, we want to remind you guys that this episode and every episode of the PlanesTalkers podcast is brought to you by Kerwin's Game Store. Kerwin's Game Store is New York State's premier source for collectible card games, tabletop games, miniatures, comic books, retro video games, and toys. With their clean, open gaming areas available to everyone at no charge, when we're able to open, Kerwin's provides a fun and inviting atmosphere for new and experienced gamers alike. They have locations in both Catskill and Poughkeepsie, New York. The Poughkeepsie one's in the second floor of the Poughkeepsie Galleria. Kerwin's is absolutely the best place in gaming, and they just launched last week a streamlined website, and it's very easy to use. I really like it. It's very well done. You can now find them at www.kgsonline.com. That's kgsonline.com. And guys, don't forget, you can get 5% off any online order when you use the promo code PlanesTalkers2020. It's a new code. So PlanesTalkers2020 will get you 5% off when you go to kgsonline.com. I want to thank Steve. We're going to get him in here for an interview. I was hoping to do it this week, but I think it's going to end up being next week. We may even just record it and pop it in. But I want to talk to him about the state of gaming from the owner's perspective. So we're looking to get that done very soon. Likewise, before we go any further, I do also want to remind you guys and send a big thank you out to our Planeswalker level patrons, Ian, Walter, George, Josh, and Zach, who really helped the show in very, very many ways. I've let the guys know who won what. Ian is aware, and you guys are going to get together at some point and put some things together. We've drawn our events. So, like I said, Ian and I think George won the Play My Deck. He hasn't sent us a list yet. We got to wait on that. But I'm very excited about that. If you want to get into these drawings, guys, go to patreon.com/planestalkers. You can find out more information. We have 3 different levels to join us, and we really do appreciate all the help you can give us. It keeps the lights on and keeps things going. But Aramis, how the heck are you, my friend?
I am doing great finding all these ad cards.
Oh, yeah, I'm tired of those. Oh, and you know what? This week, though, I will untap. It's an invisible beer because it's a green label.
Oh, God, invisible beer.
So I'm having another Southern Tier 2X IPA. It's a double IPA, Aramis. This show's going off the rails, my friend.
So, yeah, like what? A nice 2 weeks where it sort of kind of stayed in the rails? Oh, boy. Yeah, here we go.
So paper, how you been, man?
Been doing good. Just got my pre-order from Kerwin's this afternoon, so I've cracked open one box. I'm
I did
sorting
too.
through it actually as we speak a little bit.
Wow, way to
And
be focused on the show, man. Way to that's professional right there.
says the person who's downing a double IPA.
Hey. That's a part of the show now, man. There are people that write us
Uh,
letters about the beer and give us recommendations. Don't be like that. I love our audience. But yeah.
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. You know, like I said, I got my boxes. Can't wait to crack them. I'm gonna save some because so we can do another one of those lovely sealed events that we did last night.
Let me just tell you guys, that was, if you missed that, it is up on our Twitch page now. It is up on our YouTube. We're gonna try to like simulcast whenever we do anything. And so it's up on YouTube, Twitch, and it's on our Facebook. We gamed for almost 3 hours last night. Aramis and I did. We got our pre-release packs, and we opened them, and basically put together a sealed event real quick. Aramis's deck was built. Mine, I went one way and went another, and finally was able to be competitive. It was a really good time. We're gonna do it again because we each have a box left over. So I'm gonna save 6 packs. You'll save 6 packs. It's really hard not to open the packs, man. I just want to open the packs.
When I got home from work today, the box was sitting on my kitchen table, and as I was eating dinner, I'm just staring at it, going, "I want to crack those packs. I want to open. Can I just touch the box, please?" And my wife was like, "No, you have to do the dishes first." Like, God, damn, fine, okay, please. I felt like a kid that just got a new video game, but the parents say you have to do your homework first before you can play.
Yeah.
And you're just sitting there trying to concentrate on the homework, but you're like, "Oh my God, it's right there. I can see it." Ugh.
It was epic. It was fun. We're gonna do it again, maybe Wednesday night, Thursday night. And we're also gonna do other formats. Like I'm gonna play Commander. I was like, listen, first of all, I bought one of the new Commander decks, so I'm itching to play it. And so, I mean, hey, dude, you can go to Kerwin's Game Store on your way home from work one day, pick yourself up another Commander. Just saying.
It's not actually on my way home from work, but
shh, it's on your way home from work.
Maybe.
So, it's been a really interesting week, man. I mean, we're still in Untap here, so let me give you guys an idea of what we're talking about tonight. We are going to talk about the paper release. The paper release happened on Friday. It was a very, very interesting paper release. We should talk about that in regards to Arena 2 having almost a month. It's very interesting how you look at your cards. I can actually tell you a little bit of information on that. We are going to talk about the state of standard. I think that's going to be a main one topic from now on. Just figure that's coming. State of standard. We're going to talk a little bit about what's the front runner deck right now, what's kind of coming up out of the woodwork. There was a major banning today for Vintage and Legacy. The first time of banning in 20 some odd years. It's definitely worth talking about. It's going to have ripple effects through standard and modern too, especially the last paragraph of that banning. We're not sure about combat. We may fall into one. If we don't, that's fine. Then a main 2, our Magic 101 topic tonight is going to be about mulligans. Specifically the London
favorite topic.
Yeah, specifically the London mulligan. Hopefully Mark pops in at some point. He did get his box today as well from Kerwin. So, I'd love to hear what he got on his box. And then we'll close out the show. But I mean, we've got a nice packed show. So let's go ahead and get right into it.
Main phase.
All right, main phase. Okay. So we have a ton of information today. It was weird. Maybe you can agree with me or disagree with me on this. Like releasing Ikoria 4 weeks in Arena before paper. Now, obviously, it's a result of everything happening in the world, the pandemic. It is what it is. It was a strange. I don't want to say anticlimactic. But it was a strange pre-release. Or release, I would say.
Well, I mean, circumstances aside, it's everything. Honestly, everything about this year has been weird.
Yeah.
I mean, we really can't single out the one thing, but yeah, like I had my boxes shipped to me, which there's no reason normally for me to do that because Kerwin's is 20 minutes away from my house. It's right down the road. when I picked up my pre-release pack and a bundle that I had bought, Steven was at the store. Him and one other person were the only ones at the store.
Yeah, Justin probably.
It might have been Justin or Josh, one of the two.
Okay.
I had to go. I couldn't go into the store.
Ooh.
They opened the side door. They had like a shelf set up right on the other side of the door, and the bag was there. He's like, "There you go." And I managed. I was able to talk to Steven for a few minutes, and he told me a couple of things that were going on in the physical store and stuff about the website that we may get to talk about later. If not, it's not a huge deal. Needless to say, there's good stuff coming at the store. And yeah, it felt very like drug dealy because I had my mask on, and it's sort of like, here's the side door. Hey, you got my stuff, man. You got my stuff. And okay, here we go. Thanks, man. Okay, I'm gonna go. Bye. And it was all very like
stealthy,
middle of the night. Yeah, very stealthy, like fly by night type thing. It was very strange. And then like you said, the fact that the set's been out for a month on Arena. I mean, I guess I'm kind of used to it because it's been released digitally before the paper release anyway, and we already know the cards before paper release anyway.
Yes and no. I think the month lead up. I mean,
Well, I mean, I think if we didn't have the month lead up, it would have been whatever. But yeah, I mean, the metagame's already basically shaken itself out. There's not going to be like that huge price crash if you're someone who looks at like, oh, how much value am I going to get from this box? I think the cards have already pretty much settled where they're going to be.
Well, in a way.
It's not within.
No, because in a way, I got my Garudas today, and I took a look at the invoice, and I was like, oh yeah, I paid, because I bought that like 2 weeks into, or a week into the meta, because I wanted to make sure I got it, and I had a feeling it was going to go up. Now, my own fault, obviously, but I paid like $8 a card.
Oof.
It's $1.20 now. Like, there is a certain level of, it's a very interesting, because what happened, I mean, Garuda could have held on, if paper was around there, Garuda might have held on till the first event.
Yeah, well,
it is tougher in Arena too, but yeah.
Yeah, I think the way sets are released now, and I think the way that Arena and MTGO and just the way the internet works now, it's very risky to buy singles immediately after a set drops.
Yeah, I know.
Unless it's a slam dunk.
Unless it's Teferi.
Teferi or Oko or Uro.
Yeah.
Something like that, because I mean, Luca wasn't that big of a deal when it initially came out. It's done pretty well since then. But
hey, one of our patrons.
Things are figured out pretty quickly now. So what I like to do is, I let the metagame settle for a bit, and then I buy some drug deal for nerds. Exactly. I let the metagame settle before I decide what singles I'm gonna buy.
I mean, I'm happy with it. I'm okay with it. I'm gonna play. I'm gonna build a Garuda deck because you know what? When I play the students, when I go back to school, it'll be a fun deck. Like,
you'll kill them.
Oh yeah, and they're gonna be pissed, and then they're gonna be like, "Well, what I'm doing there is." Then when we go, they'll be like, "Can I play Garuda on Friday Night Magic?" Absolutely, go ahead. Here you go. Yeah. Hi, Justin.
You are terrible.
I'm a terrible man. I get it, but it was an interesting. It's been an interesting dynamic and an interesting thing going on there with all of that. Like I said, a Garuda is one thing. I mean, I'm glad I ordered the Rook because I didn't open one again today. Like my second box, I'm like, oh my god, this is my second box, and like, oh wait, now you guys can see that on the other stream. Oh yeah, I gotta remember this stream. Yeah, I'm glad I ordered him because now I'm like, I need it.
Right.
So it's been a definite, Luca, I should say.
Luca.
Luca, not the Rook. It's been an interesting pre-release season, and now that it's out in paper, I mean, the reason I guess it feels anticlimactic is we're not looking at any events. I don't think any are on the calendar yet. I don't think they even have a June one yet. I
honestly wouldn't expect paper events until the end of the year. If that.
Yeah, I think they've already changed the Mythic Championship for this year, or whatever they're calling it, Player Tour. The first Player Tour was paper, and now is Arena. So,
which, I mean,
yeah, they have to do it that way.
Yeah, and I'll say this: it's a good thing that they have a client that is I don't want to say stable, but it's a better client for something like this than MTGO.
Yeah, it's almost ready for prime time. Yeah, I would say with that. Hey, Mike, how are you?
Could you imagine what they would be trying to figure out if they didn't have Arena and all this stuff was getting canceled?
Yeah. So it was a definite interesting paper release. Like I said, I really want to get Steve in here to talk about that. I mean, I picked up some stuff from Bonds myself on Friday. That's where I got my pre-release pack in a box, and and then I got my 2 today from Kerwin's, and I'll open the third one tomorrow. I'm not going to do a video on cracking. I think one's enough. But and I had I pulled a foil Loris.
Nice.
So I was like, all right, it's $12, but
well, that might be dropping.
Yeah, I think it's going to drop. So and I really, and that brings me, Loris does bring me to the state of Standard. Standard has definitely had a bit of an overhaul. Again, to be quite honest, I mean, I keep seeing the whiny crybabies on Reddit. And we love you, please. But, oh my gosh, like they're crying about how Standard is and how there has to be bans of Agent of Treachery and this, that. Listen, Standard is stable again. Like, it seems like it's gotten back to a little bit more of paper, rock, scissors. Now, there's a clear-cut front-runner right now, but that doesn't mean the clear-cut front-runner right now is going to be the clear-cut front-runner next week. Somebody will crack the code. It's still beatable. Luca is beatable by going under it, and Mono Red is coming out of the, it's like, so we could talk a little bit about that. Bant Ramp took a hit. Like, it was number one, and Jeskai Fires was number one for a while, and now it's fallen to, like, according to MTG Goldfish, I mean, it's number 6 or 7.
Number 8 right now.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's, like, the big hotness everybody knows is Jeskai Luca, which is basically Luca along with Urian and Agent of Treachery, and Luca bouncing Agent of Treachery. Great deck. Stable as hell. I'm having fun with it. I've been playing best of one, and I was getting beat a ton by cycle decks. I fixed that. First of all, I took out like an Aether Gust, and I took out the Glass Casket, and I threw in, and a few of the other stuff. I took out one of the Elspeth Conqueror's Death, and I put in 3 Ley Lines of the Void, and I threw in and I put a Dream Trawler in the main.
What does Ley Line of the Void do against cycling?
Go ahead and cycle. It doesn't go to your graveyard. So Solar Flare shut off.
Shuts off Zenith Flare.
Yeah, Zenith Flare, done. And what usually happens is if I get Ley Line of the Void, like the minute I see Loris, I will mulligan to Ley Line. Because I'm going to be basically like, I'm putting this down now. Would you like to continue the game?
You know what's in the sideboard of Yori and Luca? If you're in best of one, that might help you also against cycling is the Wanderer.
Yeah, I've thought about that too. So, but I've had a lot of fun with listen, if I'm happy to beat you, but I'd also very much like to, I love the thought of you quitting pre-first card, and it happens more often than not. The minute Ley Line of the Void comes down, they're just like, nah, fuck it. And they basically go hide, and I'm okay with that. So I've been having fun with that deck, and I'm going to build it in paper. I mean, I've got most of the pieces for it. I've already got my 1 Yorian. I've ordered 3 Lucas now, so they're on their way. But I have everything else I need for that deck. So I'm like, hello, I'm going to play this. So
no reason not.
No, and that's just it. I want to play paper again. Like, really what I loved about last night was there is something to having paper and having to remember triggers and there's a mental thing there that happens that doesn't happen in Arena. Arena remembers all your triggers.
Yeah, Arena holds your hand.
Yeah, I really loved last night. I learned so much just playing with you like that. I might even talk to the listeners, like, heck, I don't, hey, listeners, especially our Planeswalker ones, for the month of June, if you want if you win the play the host, I'd be more than willing to play you guys in paper. Like, it's very easy to do. You need a webcam on your computer and a phone to stream with. I'll make it work. We did it last night, and it worked well.
It's not super hard. No.
No. It was weird because your phone, I think, was also on your main account somehow still, because at one point, if you watch the main one, it was funny. On the main feed, at one point you went to the black screen from what you're using for your possible green screen.
Right.
And that was weird. It was about 30, 40 minutes in, or an hour and a half in. Now, on my screen and on the YouTube channel and on Twitch, because what I'm doing is I'm taking this portion here. I have OBS like just taking my window. Since I didn't see you go there, Twitch and YouTube looked, you were normal. So I was like, but when I went looking at it yesterday, I was like, huh.
I got to take that program off until I'm ready to use it.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's because it screws with other things on my computer too. So it's like I don't.
Ooh, Steven, he's totally down to play a Commander game with us.
I'm okay with that.
Multiplayer Commander live would be interesting.
My deck's not tuned at all, but I can play.
Dude, he'll play one of the new ones right out of the box. Ooh.
I'm okay with that too. I have two. I don't have any decks from this year, but I have 2 decks from last year.
We can have 4 people in B Live at one time. I would do it B Live. I wouldn't use anything else. We could do 4 people in B Live, and then you would only need one webcam or your phone because we just wouldn't show our faces. That's all.
Which is fine.
Yeah. So, I'm getting
down
ideas.
with that.
I'm getting ideas.
I've been wanting to get into Commander more, so I mean, this gives me an excuse to do that.
Oh, I'm getting ideas, Aramis.
I'm terrified.
Yes, be afraid. Be very afraid. Where's the beer?
Be scared. Be very scared.
All right. Oh shit. Oh.
Had too much, huh?
No, I put it down too fast. I know better. Oh God, I'm a terrible person. Don't you dare. Okay, we did this last night, I think. My wife, with my other podcast, my wife used to take her bottle in college and make me drink fast because she'd take her bottle and go boop on the top of mine, causes it to bubble and foam, and you better drink it before you make a mess. She just tried to do it again. That rat. Okay, never mind. We'll take this out of the Bane podcast. All right, so in any event, main state of standard, companions are ruling the roost. That much is obvious. With the exception of Jeskai Cycling, I think it's ruling the roost. It's in every deck right now except Jeskai Cycling in the top 5, in the top 10. Oh wait, it might even be in Jeskai Cycling. Yeah.
Cycling plays Loris.
Yes, it does. So it's in every deck. Like you cannot play. Yeah. It's an 8th card. I mean, okay, if you can make Mono Red Obosh is a thing. And what a thing. Holy shit.
There is no cost whatsoever for putting Obosh in that deck. And it basically says, here you go. Here's an extra copy of Torbran.
Yeah.
That you can always have in your hand when you need it.
In fact, they took Torbran out.
Exactly, because it's like,
why
bother waiting?
Because Torbran's
even.
Yeah, Torbran's even too.
Yeah.
But it's Fervent Champion, Grim Initiate, Scorch Spitter. You know what? Watch this. I could do
One
this.
1 drops for days.
Yeah. It's ridiculously stupid. And Scorch Spitter starts hitting you for 2. So 4 every time it attacks.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, I'll build that deck too. But, because again, I have that deck.
According to this, it's only $34.
Yeah, well, it's Obosh you need, right? Well, Obosh, if it becomes a real deck, Obosh will go up.
I don't think so, because Dream Trawler's always been a thing, and that's still a $2 card.
True. Here's the thing, though. I think the reason the commanders aren't going up, and we'll talk about this in the next thing, is I think they're expecting the Banhammer at some point, or a change in the mechanic.
Well, they're also only rare. It's not like they're mythic.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just, if you take a look, I'm going to put this, the YouTube people will see it. You know what, I'll just share my screen.
It's a double whammy, because they're rare, and for the most part, you only need 1.
Right.
So their price is going to be very depressed in that regard, but their power is undeniable.
Exactly. Well, I mean, here's the thing, folks. I'm using mtggoldfish.com. Okay, if you're taking a look at the screen right now, Jeskai Luca uses Yorion. Jeskai Cycling is using Luris. Teamer Rec is using what the hell's its name there? Karuga. Mono Red Obosh. Bant Ramp uses Yorion. Rakdos Luris is using Luris. Jeskai Fires is using Karuga. Teamer Elementals is using Yorion. It's like it doesn't until you get down to Teamer Adventures that you see one that doesn't have a companion. Like, holy cow. Like, there is something to... I mean, yeah, we missed the boat. We totally missed the boat on that, you and me. Well, I did. You were like, oh, it's going to warp standard. I'm like, what's it going to do?
Limited only.
Whoopsie. Wah, wah. But, I mean, it's just... Yeah, I mean, it was just...
A little bit of crow.
I mean, even, exactly what Raphael said. He's like, am I the only one who didn't like Incori and all its companion bullshit? Raphael, you're not wrong. Okay?
I like Ikoria. I'm torn on the companions. I like the idea, but I think I don't know if they didn't test it properly, or if they I don't know if they missed something. It's really hard. I don't want to bash Wizards about this because I understand what they were trying to do.
Right.
It just didn't work.
Did it not work, or did it work too well?
It worked way too well, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's a pretty good segue.
It is. So, I mean, we talked about standard a little bit. Let's go ahead and, we're going to pivot. We're still in main one here. One of the reasons we're talking about this is that the ban list came out today. And not surprisingly, all right, not surprising at all, basically Legacy, well, it's surprising because it hit Vintage and Legacy, which they don't do very often.
Well, Legacy, not super surprising. Vintage,
extremely.
In a certain sense. And I'll get to that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, because you can't, and I understand why you have to ban it, because, restricting it in Vintage makes no difference. Yeah, it has to be banned. But today, they released their ban list, and it hit 3 formats: Vintage, Brawl, and Legacy. For Brawl, no brainers, really. Drannith Magistrate was a freaking... Why they haven't banned... I'm surprised they haven't banned it in Commander yet. I guess because there are 1,000 ways to deal with it in Commander. Even if you can't cast your Commander, you can get rid of that card. And Winata is... Yes, thank you.
That was a little bit of a surprise for me.
Not me. I've played Brawl, and everybody's playing Winata. Like, everybody was. It was the freaking...
big up-and-coming deck, huh?
Yeah, well, it was the... What do you call it? The 5-color artifact dude there that, got banned out of Brawl is... what's his name there? He was part of the...
You're Wandering guy.
Field of the Dead guy. Yeah.
Nomad.
Yeah. Like, you were seeing it too much. You really were. You either played Winata or you didn't play. And then they talked about Legacy, and Loris, of course. We all knew that was going to happen. Loris was banned. And then Zerta the Dawnwaker, which is not a companion we've heard a lot about in Standard. It hasn't really hit much in Standard.
No, but that's because it can't be abused like it can be in Legacy.
Right.
Because
Legacy has so many activated... Yeah.
Yeah, that plus Grim Monolith is Infinite Mana.
Yes. So, and Zerta the Dawnwaker, if you don't know, it's a companion. Each permanent card in your starting deck has an activated ability. And then it says abilities you activate that aren't mana abilities cost 2 less to activate. This effect can't reduce the mana to less than 1. So, those make sense. And they kept going. And then we saw something we don't see very often. Loris of the Dream Den is banned in Vintage.
Yeah, almost never. The last time they banned a card in Vintage, or I'll say this, the last time there was any cards banned in Vintage that weren't like anti-cards or manual dexterity cards or the conspiracies, 2000.
Yeah.
It's been
20 years.
20 years since they banned a card in Vintage. Like you were saying, Benson, they can't restrict it because it doesn't do anything.
Right.
But, banning a card in Vintage, it never, ever happened. So this card is more abusable than the Power 9.
Right.
Because they can't restrict this card because it has no effect on what it does. And
Well, they even said that. We recognize that it's a rare occurrence to ban a card for balance reasons in Vintage rather than restricting it. But this is a unique case where restricting Loris wouldn't affect its usage as a companion, which is the primary motivation for making this change.
Yeah, because it's land, Lotus, pop, Loris, Lotus, and you still have 4 mana on turn 1 to go absolutely buck nutty.
So, I mean, that's, it wasn't very surprising, but really, the big thing, and we're a standard podcast, so we're going to talk about standard here. They told the reasons why, and everybody knew why. You didn't need to be told why. Everybody's seen what's been happening in MTGO with these cards.
Yeah. If you looked at the top 6 decks in Vintage, they were all Loris decks.
Yeah, so it makes sense. But then they kept going. And, Ian Duke, I love it because I know sometimes I think he's like, all right, we've done it. Let's put this at the end. and so they buried the lead. And I'm going to read you, actually, I'm going to read you the last paragraph of the ban and restricted because that's really where it was important. They said, we are aware of some players' concerns about the frequency at which they encounter decks using companions across several formats. While we're not currently seeing problematic win rates in Standard, Pioneer, or Modern from decks using companions, we are looking at overall metagame share and potential for repetitive gameplay. If we see signs of long-term health issues resulting from high metagame share of companion decks, we're willing to take steps up to or including changing how the companion mechanic works. For now, metagames need more time to evolve before we can determine whether changes are necessary. That is huge.
Yeah, let me repeat that if you missed it. If we see long-term health issues resulting from high metagame shares of companion decks, we're willing to take steps up to or including changing how the companion mechanic works. They're talking about power level or errata.
Right. So, errata. Yeah.
Errata, yeah.
So, I don't know about you, but knowing that 10 of 12 of the top 12 decks, according to MTG Goldfish, for Standard, having companions, that seems unbalanced.
Well, you look at a recent Modern event,
yep.
87% of the decks were playing companion.
And that's what just did. I'm just gone to Modern now, and I'm looking there. We've got Loris Jund as the top deck, Burn using Loris. Don't think Tron is using a companion. Nope, Tron's using Giganta. Eldrazi Tron is using no companion. So number 4 has no companion. Blue, Red, Green, they're using Yorion. Simic Wreck, Yorion. Why wouldn't you? Bant Snowblade, Yorion. Amulet Titan, no. Don't need it. It's Amulet Titan. Gruul Obosh is using Obosh. Loris of the Dream Den for Devotus Devastation. Niv to Light is using Giganta. And Loris Death Shadow. So again, 9 out of 12 of the Modern metagame is using companion.
It's Loris and it's Yorion for the most part.
But you can't, I don't think you can nail them without nailing the mechanic.
Oh, no, yeah.
You have to nail the mechanic. Here's my fear, okay? If you're going to nerf it, then get rid of it. Don't nerf it to where it's like, here's what I don't want. I will not use a companion if it can be thought erasured. In this current Standard meta, I don't want, the whole point of companion is if I'm going to restrict my deck to odd numbered stuff, if I'm going to play a mono red deck with Obosh and not get to Torbrand, then I don't want it to be thought erasured.
It's not if they errata the ability, if they change it. First of all, this is going to be a big deal because
it would be really a very big deal.
Like it hasn't been that long since they changed something like this. They changed the way Proliferate works with War of the Spark, but that was like, it was a net positive. It was sort of the way Proliferate was always intended to work. This is changing something because it's wrong. Right. It's broken. I don't think if they change it, it's going to be something where it ends up in your hand. I think it's going to be, it will be something more along the lines of, if you are playing with a companion, your starting hand is 1 less card.
And I'd be okay with that. Like, yeah, I would be okay with that. So you have 6 and then this 1 card out. Okay.
Yeah, or something along those lines,
Yeah.
or there's some other. I can't think of really too many other changes they can make to make this tolerable to the point where people maybe are discouraged from playing it so easily. Because the biggest thing about this is that
It's an eighth
playing
card.
it's an eighth card, and the deck building restrictions aren't really a restriction for most of these cards. You're like with Lurish, you're like, okay, play cheap stuff. That's good.
Exactly. Well, and I mean, Loris's problem. Well, no, it's not just cheap stuff. The problem they had with Loris is permanence. Okay, if they had said all of your cards have to be one or two, including instants and sorceries. If you can't play Zenith Flare with Loris, Loris becomes less of a, you know what I mean? The problem with that was calling it permanence. And I think it also would have shut down Legacy. It wouldn't be played in Vintage and Legacy either. Like, it just would have made it different. The problem is they restricted it to creatures or permanents, enchantments, things of that nature, instead of spells. If it had said spells, you cannot have any cards, spells in your library with a greater than 2 mana cast. All right. Now, Loris is not that big of a card. It's kind of like Oko. It's kind of like, what the hell were you thinking with 2 pluses?
And again, this is why I'm so torn about the companion mechanic, because I see what they were trying to do. They were trying to open up a new design space. They were trying to sort of turn Magic on its ear a little bit and say, hey, here's a completely different way you can play. It's sort of like Commander. Not really. Kind of, sort of, because you can do it once.
Yeah, I think they were looking for the new Planeswalker. I really do. I think they wanted to see, and they would have took a little while off, and then by the time rotation comes next year, they were going to be like, okay, we're going to run companions in every set. And you'll have you have 2 Planeswalkers, you'll have 2 companions in every set.
And they can do that because none of the companions are mythics.
Right.
So they can get away with just making them a bunch of rares. But I don't know. I don't know if it's the fact they're hybrid, so they're easier to play. I don't know if it's the fact that it's just too easy to build with them.
It is.
But I feel bad because, like I said, I know what they were trying to do. They were trying to make the game, give it some fresh blood, a different way to play. And they so far overshot that they have to. The fact that they actually have to basically, this is a giant mea culpa from Wizards saying, "Oh my God, what have we done?"
Mm-hmm.
And this is worse than Oko, in my opinion.
Listen, and there are content creators out there. I've listened to a few of them that are saying things like Rosewater needs to go now. Like after Oko, after the Modern Horizons snafu, and now this. I'm like, no. You don't want your designer to be worried about his job. Okay, his job is to design. His job is to throw things against the wall. It is your job in the corporate office, and your job in the testing team, and your job in the development team. He's a designer, not the developer. The development team needs to be the ones to say, this doesn't work. He needs to be able to say, the designer needs the freedom to be able to say this. And they're not.
Part of the problem is, and they've acknowledged this, and this is a problem that they've acknowledged it, but at the same time I can understand it. They primarily test for standard.
Right.
Because there is literally no way a team that small, and they can't make it big enough to be logistically possible, can test one card against 24,000 other cards to make sure that none of them break it.
Right.
Granted, with Loris, it should have been kind of obvious because low-cost permanence, Vintage really likes their zero-cost artifacts. So there are certain things that were, probably a little bit lower hanging fruit than others that they might have been able to fix with appropriate testing or a little bit of common sense. But I'm not going to put this on Morrow. I'm not going to put this on the playtesting team.
Right.
I think I could put this at the feet of Hasbro wanting to sell packs. Because look at everybody having to play these cards.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I understand it. Rosewater said it too. He's like, we need to have some power creep to keep the Eternal formats buying packs. And I get that. That's not even Hasbro. That's all right. If you want Magic to continue, if you want Magic to be viable, then it means that we have to get behind new sets. It's one of the reasons we started this podcast. Is I believe in standard is important to Magic. Because it keeps people coming in. And yes, it sucks that in 6 months or in 3 months now, like half my collection goes into Amber. And, I put it into a box and pull it out of binders and say, hey, this is...
And you hope and pray that something in Pioneer or Modern pops up where you can use them again.
Right. because that's just what you can do. That's all you can do. I get it though. I understand it. That's why when Teferi got too big, I was glad I had my 4. And then when I sold them for the wedding last year, I never got Teferi Hero Dominarian again. I don't have 4 of them because I sold them last year for the wedding. The reason was because I'm like, I can't see spending $30, $40, $50 on a standard card. When cards go crazy, you can't go after and chase those cards. When Hydroid Krasis was at the $30 mark, I'm like, oh God, it has to be. You have to be aware of that, I guess is what I'm saying. Now there are certain cards, the ones that go 30 or 40. Yes and no. I mean, Scarab God was up there to 26 at one point. Now it's like $5.
I mean, Euro's at about $50 right now.
Yeah, Euro, and I've got 4 of them.
You have 1, I think.
I did get 4, and I ordered them. Like I knew that every set I kind of look for the one. Like this time, Garuda, I made a mistake. For the last couple sets, I was on the Hydroid Krasis bandwagon before a lot of people. I got it really dirt cheap, and then it went up. I'm like, hey, this is great. Euro, same thing. What was it? The Phoenix there that you love there. Rekindling Phoenix. Yeah, I was on that one. So, I mean, you got to kind of pay attention. But you got to realize, too, it's like, it's one thing to buy, and it's good. Like, here's the thing. I mean, I'm opening, I've opened 3 boxes. I'm done buying packs. Like, I'll buy packs maybe occasionally at a Walmart. I'll walk through, and if they've got one, sure. What the heck? What if from here on out I buy what I need? I will go and get the singles. Because, yeah, and I do have a foil Death Corona. So, yes, but it was it was an interesting, it's an interesting dynamic that we have to think of now.
Yeah. But I wouldn't put this at Morrow's feet. No,
I would say that it's nobody's fault. We have to give the design team its room, and you have to let the devs do what they can. If you're going to lay blame at somebody, if you are going to lay blame on someone, then I'm sorry, you have to lay it not at your designer. You have to lay it at your you have to lay it at the devs, because the designer should be able to sit there and go, well, I think we should do this, and the dev should be looking at it going, what is this going to do to Vintage and Legacy? You don't have to know every deck, but if it's showing up in 12 decks, okay, somebody somewhere, that means somebody somewhere didn't try it with Tron, or to use it for Modern, like,
or Paradoxical Outcome in Vintage.
Right. Like, how do you not try it on the big decks? Okay.
And I know part of the problem too is that the development team, and when they're designing sets, they're a year plus ahead of us, so they know things that are out there already that don't exist for us yet. So that adds another wrinkle to it. And right. Like I said, it's so hard to test all the possibilities. But again, I mean, it felt like there were some no-brainers that they missed.
Oko was a miss. There's no way Oko was not a miss.
I'm talking more of the interaction between Loris and
right.
Power 9.
Loris, I mean, here's the thing. Luca has nothing to do with Companion. And believe me, if you nerf Companions, that will not make Luca go away. In fact, it will make Luca better. Because, okay, it's nice that Yorian can bounce Agent of Treachery, but you'll just play Thassa, and it does the same thing every turn.
Like, the biggest it would lose some consistency because with the Yorian, you always have it when you need it.
Yes, that's true. But that deck is the mechanic on that deck is Luca, Agent of Treachery. And then the token creators. You need your Birth of Meletis. You need Omen of the Sun to create the tokens. Yeah. And once you have that, and Castle Ardenvale, which I'm glad they're using 3 of now. When I first saw this deck, they only had 1. I'm like, no, I want 3 or 4 of those. Like, you need, because the token generation is the key for that. So, I mean, it's just one of those things to think about. I don't know what this means. I don't know. You're probably more right. I really would hate it if they were like, treat it like a mulligan and you swap one of your cards for Yorian and then it gets thought erasured.
I'm really curious. And again, it may not even get this far to the point where they errata it. It
Right.
may not get to the point where they have to change how.
I think they're going to
mechanic
have
actually
to.
works.
People are going to call for it.
They may have to, and if that does happen, I will be very curious to see what their solution is. I'm glad that they're willing to take this step to an obvious problem. It's sad that it's gotten to this point, and it's yet another set that things get banned, basically right out of the gate.
Right.
It's been every set since War of the Spark.
Yeah. War of the Spark had one. The Core didn't. Oh wait,
Veil of Summer.
Core had Veil of Summer and Field of the Dead.
And,
but that wasn't right out of the gate. That was after some serious.
Yeah, but it was fairly quickly. I mean, it was still standard legal.
And then what was it? Throne of Eldraine, Oko.
Throne of Eldraine, Oko, Once Upon a Time.
I think Theros they didn't. There's nothing.
Theros had Underworld Breach.
Yeah, that's in Modern. I'm talking standard.
Standard bans are rare to begin with anyway. They haven't banned anything here in standard yet either.
They've banned out of this set? No, not out of this current set, but yeah.
Not out of this set. So it's been, but I'm talking bans from brand new sets in a row in general from any format. That's not something that was a normal thing up until about a year ago.
Right. So, and with that, I mean, it's going to be interesting. We're going to keep our eye on it for the next couple of weeks. We're going to see what's coming on, see what's happening. Let's go into combat. And then before you declare attackers, I root snare, so not quite.
We kind of already had it anyway.
Yeah. All right, let's get to main 2. All right, main 2, Magic 101 segment. So this week we want to talk about mulligans. These are fun. This is a fun topic, and the guys who are watching this, feel free to jump in and let us know your thoughts. What do you think about mulligans, Aramis?
Mulligans are very important. It's a good skill to learn when to do it, how to do it. I'll admit I'm not a master of it. As a control player, there's certain things that you look for in your opening hand that, you sort of want to be able to think a few turns ahead and determine, is this a hand that's going to be playable? Is this something I can keep? Do you know your matchup? So when you draw your opening 7, there's a couple of questions you want to ask yourself before you decide whether or not you keep. You should probably never keep a hand with less than 2 lands in it, and 2 lands is usually pretty sketchy. Unless you have a way to generate more, or your deck has such a low curve that you don't need more than 2 lands, like a mono red deck or a deck with some ramp. And when you're looking at your hand, you want to basically ask yourself, for the first 2 or 3 turns, am I going to be able to be playing Magic? Am I going to be actually playing this game, or am I just going to be sitting there praying that I draw something? If the answer to either of those questions is no, you probably want to ship that hand and draw a new one. Luckily, with the London Mulligan, it's not as bad as the
Vancouver
Mulligan. Whereas before, you would just simply draw 1 fewer card. Nowadays, you still draw 7 cards every time you mulligan, but now you pick X cards, where X is the number of times you've mulliganed, and take those from your hand and put them on the bottom of your deck. So you get to pick the best 6, 5, or 4 cards, hopefully never 4, but the best cards in your hand to keep. Why was there a thermometer?
Because I'm playing.
Okay.
Just seeing if you're paying attention.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a pretty simple concept. If your hand sucks, throw it back.
Yeah.
If you're playing against aggro and you have 5 lands and 2 6-drops, ship it. If it's going to take you a few turns to actually do anything and you're playing against an aggressive deck, try to see if you can find yourself a hand that's more conducive to being interactive the first few turns of the game.
Right.
Combo players have a bit of a, their decks are built in a way that they can be a little more aggressive because there's only certain cards that they need. So they can be a little more like, all right, this hand's decent, but I think I can do something better. I'm looking for a specific card.
And I think that's what the London Mulligan provides. It was really for combo. I mean,
yeah.
And Steve even said in the chat, he's like, he hates the current Mulligan, and that he's like, Scry was better. We should have built on that. I have to disagree. Here's the thing. Now, this is going to seem unusual, but there was a time when you could watch Magic on Twitch. And I mean, you still can, but it's video games again. It's not, they're not doing paper. But I would watch events, and there was nothing more frustrating than watching an event, especially in Modern or Legacy, where they have to mull down and either keep a shitty hand because, you can't go below 5 or 4, or or mull and then lose. Like, it just a bunch of non-games, which is what we were seeing with the Vancouver Mulligan. You saw a bunch of non-games. So that's when all of a sudden aggro was king. That's why aggro was king. You were like, I don't care if I have 3 land in aggro. I'm gonna come out of the gate swinging. Now you see more combo decks, and I think that's a direct result of the Mulligan, the London Mulligan. And is it perfect? No, not by any stretch. I miss scrying.
It adds consistency. Some people think it's consistency to a fault,
right?
Because it does allow you to keep more hands than you otherwise would with the Vancouver Mulligan, because you're not automatically stuck with 6 or 5. You get to sculpt your hand a little more, so it does add to the consistency. But I think it's a net positive where both players have a chance to play the game, because there's nothing worse than losing a game because you're literally going, well, I mean, I mulled to 3. What am I supposed to do?
I mean, it happened last night. The first game we played, I had mull to 5, it's not perfect.
Like mulling to 5 is still terrible.
Yeah,
mulling to 5, you still put yourself in an enormous hole that,
especially if you're playing first.
Statistically, you may not get out of, but you have a better chance with the London Mulligan mulling to 5 than you ever did with the Vancouver Mulligan mulling to 5, because you're stuck with the top 5.
And I'm a big fan of mulligans. Listen, let me tell you something. There are people afraid of it, and you can see it sometimes when you're playing paper. People will roll their eyes if you mull 2 or 3 times, and they get, some people get a little salty at it. Here's the thing. It's part of the game, and it's a very necessary and it's a very integral part of the game, and it's a good part of this game. The fact that I can mulligan, that I am not stuck with a 1-mana hand. If we were playing something like Yu-Gi-Oh!, a Pokemon, where resources weren't as important, okay, but without mana, you're done. Your game is over. You do not get 1 mana a turn. If you had a way to get a mana each turn, then sure, take the mulligan rule away.
Well, if you want to do that, then play Hearthstone.
Exactly. Nobody wants that. I don't want to play Hearthstone. So I love the mulligan rule. I love the idea of it. I've been playing Magic since it started, okay? And I've been through a few of them. I wasn't around when they did the Vancouver Mulligan, but I mean, the early days and all that. I mean, mulliganing is important, and it is important for you to know when to do it. Aramis is absolutely right. If you are playing an aggro deck, okay, you're not going to mull that much. If you have a 1 or 2 land hand in paper, if you're playing Arena, never keep a 2 land hand in Arena. Okay. But if you're playing in paper, a 1 or 2 land hand and you're playing aggro, okay, you've got turn 1, turn 2, turn 3 plays. All right, you have 3 turns to draw another land. That's a good number.
You just gave me a flashback of the World Championships where he kept the 2-lander and just, oh God.
And you wanted to sit there and shake him and be like, "What are you doing?"
Oh man, and it's like you don't want to be the conspiracy theorist, but it's like my experience has been, you keep a 2-lander in Arena, you are not drawing your 3rd land most of the time.
No,
for a while.
Not for a while. So, and Steve's here showing us something. GP Denver a few years ago, I won a mull to 3 in round 1 against aggro playing hard control. Okay, if you're playing control, you were playing aggro against control, yeah, you better win.
He was playing against aggro.
Wait, I won a mull to 3 in round 1 against aggro. Oh, interesting. Well, then you probably kept your,
That's extremely, that's what he's saying, really good top decks. But that's the thing. It's like either you top deck like a champ, or he just ran out of gas so fast.
Right.
But I mean, it's mulling down to low numbers. It's just it's a percentage thing. Your percentage chance of winning the game goes down every time you mulligan.
Right.
The difference between the 2 mulligan systems that we had most recently is that with the London Mulligan, your percentage chance doesn't go down as much.
Right.
Now, I mean, Friday Night Magic and playing at the tabletop, at the kitchen table, you're not worried about percentages as much. So, whatever. But I think, like Will was saying, it's not a perfect system. Maybe there's a better way. I don't know. But the mana system in this game, love it or hate it, is one of the reasons that makes this game so great. Sometimes you win because of it. Sometimes you lose because of it. But
it's a great equalizer. It is.
It's a very great equalizer. It allows any deck to beat any deck on a certain, given it the right draw.
And that's the thing. So, I mean, here's the thing. And he's making it sound like Mulligan. I don't think mulliganing is bad. I think it's skill like anything else. And now with the London Mulligan, it's become more skillful. Again, with the Vancouver Mulligan, it was dead draw luck. You drew 5 cards. You got to scry one, but you drew 5 cards or 6 or So you didn't have to. The decision wasn't on you. Okay, it was on the cards. By moving to the London Mulligan, what it is that it is adding a little more control to you. You are deciding what you're not going to keep. If you draw, say you mulled down to 5 and you drew, 4 lands and 3 spells. Well, you might get rid of a land, even though you want to have 4 lands, because you're going to hope to yourself that maybe the land, you know what I mean? It's a matter of looking at your hand. And he's right. You have to look and see what are my top, especially in this meta, especially in Standard. Standard is fast now. It is a fast meta. Either if you're going against red or you're going against cycling, they could have you dead by turn 6.
Well, and something else too, keep in mind, like certain decks, like, you do your mulligan and you're like, oh, I'm going to keep these cards. Like, if you have a couple, like 3 or 4 lands in your hand and one of those lands is like a Fabled Passage, you can put that other land on the bottom.
Right.
Or even
you're going to go find it
later and just shuffle it back in.
Right.
Shuffle it away. So there's a lot of nuance to it. It's a skill, like you said, that needs to be learned.
And this is where the companions are good. This is what I like about the companions. Like I said, it gives you not just a free one. If I'm playing against a companion, like I said, I will mull to 3. Okay, which means I have 2 cards with Leyline of the Void if I see Loris out there. Now, that doesn't mean they're playing a cycling deck, but the odds are good they're playing a cycling deck. And I'll mull down to drop that Leyline of the Void pre-turn 1, hoping that they are just like, sweep, I can't do this.
There's a deck out there that would wreck your day then.
I know.
There's a deck out there because it's...
I've never had to mull to 3 with it, though.
It plays Yorion as its companion.
Yeah.
It's a mono red deck.
Oh. Huh?
It's a mono red deck. So it has Yorion as a companion, so people are like, oh god, this. So they start thinking a certain way, and then after game 1, you side everything out, so it's no longer your companion. It's a total troll move, but it works because they're like, oh crap, it's mono red.
Shit.
So you're mulliganing your hand thinking you're playing against like Yorion Luca or something like that. You're like, oh crap, this is mono red? Damn it.
But I mean, I still do that. Well, because like I said, I play a little bit of best of 1 sometimes because I don't have time for a 3. So I'll be like, okay. Ooh, look at that, Luris. Nope. 6. Nope. 5. Ooh, Leyline of the Void. Keep.
Yeah.
And then if they're playing, what the hell's the name of it? Shite. Gosh darn it, what's the thing? Cycling. If they're playing cycling, they usually concede because I've taken your game ender away. It basically, you're going to Dranis Stinger me to 0. And by turn 6...
Because, I mean, you can get a very large fox.
Yeah, but usually turn 4, by turn 4, I'll have one of the board sweeps, usually. Because you do have Shatter, you do have, or Scatter the Skies.
But I'm just saying, they can get a lot of damage in before.
They get a lot. You know what? I was down once to 1, and I was 20-1.
That feels good, doesn't it?
Oh God! When I was turn 5, I got Luca. I had fires out already. I draw Luca, and I had the Birth of Melitus, like the wall out there. So I put Luca down. Boom! Kick out the token. Find Agent of Treachery. Took one of his big creatures, and then I also had then I went ahead and cast Loris, bounced it again.
Yorion, yeah.
Or Yorion, yeah. Cast Yorion, took his Loris away.
That's not nice.
And yeah, sweep. And I did, and I had Leyline of the Void out anyway, so he wasn't getting anything in his graveyard.
But you would.
Oh yes, I was enjoying
Although,
myself.
I don't think that deck. Well, no, you play all those enchantments, so you can get those enchantments back.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was having a good old time with it. So
I like it.
I love the Jeskai Luka deck. If you haven't played it yet, play it. It's fun. Hell, it's fun.
I have not played it yet. I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, it's your style of deck. To tell you the truth, I could see. You know what? Maybe we'll do a game where I'll have Jeskai Luka, and you can play whatever you want. Then you'll tell me you want to play it. So, but with that, I mean that's mulliganing. You know, Aramis and I both. It is a skill. I think you need to do it. Do not be afraid to mulligan. The fact that you can reset your hand, something you can't do in any other game. You know, yeah. And sure, there's a penalty, but it's not an unbeatable penalty.
And especially once you know the deck you're playing against, it makes aggressive mulliganing that much better.
Yeah, game 2 or 3 in a best of 3, you should absolutely be mulliganing.
Don't be afraid to mulligan game 2 and 3.
Yeah, once you know what you're playing against. Yeah. So with that, let's go ahead and pivot ourselves to the emails. We did get an email this week. First of all, I want to say congratulations to Mark. I got an email from him today, and he did get his box. So he's very excited. He's like, the Ikoria box just arrived. I'll tell you what I get when I finish opening it. Thanks again. Hope you're all well, Mark. So, there was that. And then Walter did email us. First of all, Walter's son is home. We're very thankful he gave us an update on his medical stuff. So, I'm not going to go that far. He said, I only have one question, but next week I'll have more. You can have 9 for all we care. Walter, you're a patron. You can literally do whatever the hell you want. We'll change the name of the show to Walter's Podcast if you want. No, we won't. But how did you guys like the new Fortnite Festival? It was crazy.
Events, I think.
Yeah, it was crazy for me. Lost more than I won, but man, some of the combos I've seen, especially turn 1 Ember Cleave to make the guy 9/9. Okay, so that was the one we were talking about yesterday.
Right. I did not get to play that.
I played it. It was fun-ish. I
heard it was very high variance.
I don't like games of chance. And there's not a lot of skill involved. If you're either getting the draw of the big cards that are doing crazy things like a turn 1 Ember Cleave, or Enraise Forerunner on turn 2, or something that gives you a lot of card engine draw, because you only get 3 cards, no mana, you cast anything in your hand for free, and you can get 1 of each color mana to cast spells. So you can't mutate half of it, because everything is like 2 colorless and 6, for the really big stuff, but you only get 5 mana every turn. So I'm not mutating. It shut mutate off. Like, if they really wanted us to have fun with it, they should have turned it to 10 mana, or, you get 9 mana or something, because
you can cast the first mutate cost.
There's no mana.
Yeah, but you don't need.
You had to pay the mana was an ability, so you had to. It was
but it's casting the spell. You should. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So it was not. So that part I was kind of like, oh, I want to mutate. So, but I mean, it was fun. It was just a lot of luck. So it was either if somebody came out turn 2 or 3, I knew I was going to win or lose. And so a game never went much beyond turn 4 or 5 for me. And if I was losing, I was just like, "Good, here you go," because I take no penalty for losing, and I've already paid my gold. So what the hell, if I'm not going to win, I'm not going to waste my time. I got the 5 styles, and that was all good. Walter's saying it was mostly luck. It's like, especially if you had to draw cards, you could play a ton. Yeah, if you caught the cards that would let you draw a card every time you hit, like it was huge. It was
sort of chained off. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, mutate's an ability. They had cheaper mutate creatures to do that with. I ended up mutation the more expensive ones. A few times. You'd have to mutate the small ones on top of the big ones. So you'd have to cast the big ones for free and then use the smaller mutates. And it was like, I want to do
you still get the mutate trigger. So.
Yeah, but I want to do the big ones. The whole point is you want to bring a 7/7 on a 1/1. All right.
Yeah. But you still get the big one on top.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, but you don't get to cast it for 1. It's like
no. Yeah.
So I mean, there was that. So and he goes on to say he was playing Mono Red Obosh, and saw it on Twitch, was very intrigued. And he was placing another mono red. He started off with 3 Fervent Champions, a Grim Initiate, and skipping ahead, he had those blocked out with Grim at first to wipe out his Scorch Spitter. But at this moment, he had Annex, so Fervent, and just casted Torbran out on me, and I'm like, damn, I'm going to lose. Then he proceeds to rope him. So next turn, he tries to go all out on me, and I'm like, he has Embercleave. I block his Fervent with my Bone Crusher and block with my 3 Fervent Champions and a Grim Initiate and kills his Torbran. And because of First Strike, I kept my stuff, so I'm like, hell, you might have chance. And it, next turn he pulls out another Torbran, so again, same outcomes, block, Torbran killed it. Next turn, guess what? Another Torbran, but this time he didn't cast it, and he swings with his Annex. I killed it. And then as I had him dead to rights next turn with me casting Obosh, guess what he did? Quit. That was the best game I've played. It sounds like it was a lot of fun. I do enjoy that. I mean,
sounds like a typical arena player.
Yeah. Well, that really annoys me. And here's the thing: you can report them for that. If it looks like you're winning, you can report them. You can go to the website and do it. I wish they had a way to do it in game. For me, what I love doing with that is I've played a lot of mono red, and they come against my Jeskai Luca now because Arena's figured out how to counter program the Luca deck a bit. So again, Fervent Champion. Or not Fervent Champion, Leyline of the Void. Sure, bring Annex out. No problem. But you're not getting your 1/1.
Yeah, no death trigger.
No death trigger for you. Ooh. Usually after that happens, they sweep. So, again, Leyline of the Void is a beautiful card. So, yeah.
Rotate out in a couple of months.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be sad again. I mean, I remember when the Leylines came in last year, and I was just like...
I'm surprised they didn't have more of an impact.
I think Void did. I think the others didn't. I really thought Leyline of the Sanctity was going to be something. But again, these aren't spell-heavy decks anymore. You're doing a lot of creatures.
Yeah.
Hexproof doesn't buy you a ton. So, but, so that was our mail. You guys can email us. We'll talk about that at the end on how to get to us. Again, Mark, congratulations on that, dude. We're very glad you did it and you won. And we're not going to do our iTunes drawing. I think I'm just going to draw 2 in June at this point. I don't know. Are we going to record Tuesday next week, or are we going to try to record on Memorial Day? I don't think we're going to try to record on Memorial Day. We can.
I don't know.
Yeah, because next week's Memorial Day, so.
Yeah, I don't know yet.
Because I don't have kids, so I can record at any point. So we're not sure yet what's going on with that. But with that, I guess we might as well. I mean, unless there's anything else you want to hit home.
Nope.
All right, let's. All right, so as Aramis and I are sitting here, we're putting our cards back in their boxes. We're rolling off the play mats. We're taking the pizza boxes over the trash because, damn it, your mother still does not work here, so don't be a loser. And we want to remind you that we both stream Arena on the PlanesTalker podcast channel on Twitch. You can actually also catch this show now on Twitch. Look up PlanesTalker podcast there. You can also follow me on Twitch at Mindcrime73, although I tend to play, if I'm playing on PlanesTalkers. So...
Yeah, and whenever I stream, which I don't know when that's going to be again, it also simulcasts on the PlanesTalkers podcast channel. But if you want to follow my channel individually, it's RMECWRX on Twitch. And if Twitter is more your speed, you want to keep up with the show that way, you can find us at PlanesTalkerPod on Twitter.
And my personal Twitter is at WR Benson. No, I'm not on it very much. Really, I'm there just to follow the great musical career of the lovely David Hasselhoff. But, it's really the only reason I have it. But, of course, you can always look for me there. It's at WR Benson. And, of course, you should and always follow us on Facebook. It's a very active community. It's becoming more active as the days are going on. Just go to facebook.com/PlanesTalker, not PlanesTalkers. We took that last S off for savings and because some asshole beat us to the name. So like and follow our page there, and you can catch our show there and be able to comment with us.
And finally, you can send us emails and even ask for advice in our Ask Aramis section, where I can offer you tips on anything from deck construction to limited choices. And if you want to send us an email, our address is podcast@planestalkerspodcast.com.
And I really want to remind you guys, I do host another podcast. It deals with the television show DC's Legends of Tomorrow. It's called Legends TV Talk. I got 3 more episodes this season, and then we'll be off for a while. We record there for Sunday nights. If you're interested, you can find me on Facebook there at Legends TV Talk. Don't forget about our iTunes review contest. Like I said, in June, at the start of June, I'll draw 2 names. One, if you put in a review, we will read it on the show. We like the 5 stars. Please do the 5 stars. It does help. The show is getting more eyes. It is growing, so it is helpful. We really do appreciate it. You can do that through iTunes on your computer if you don't have an iOS device. But if you leave us a review there, we'll leave it on the show. And every month we do a drawing to win some arena packs. So very much appreciate any reviews you can give us there. So we really do appreciate you guys doing that. But on that note, we want to say thank you again for hanging out with us tonight. We had a great time. We'll be back maybe next Monday, if not, maybe next Tuesday. I don't think we're going to take the week off, but we'll let you guys know. You can follow us on the PlanesTalker page. We also might be streaming this Wednesday. We might try to play a paper match again. So, but just watch our page there. But for Aramis Perez, this is Will Benson saying thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out with us. And we want to remind you to always leave some of your mana untapped because you never know when you need it. Take care and have a great day. Bye-bye now. There we go. All right. And since I recorded in Logic Pro, I'll just import my other stuff into Logic Pro.
Nice. Good.
I didn't get the Stream Deck yet. I'm going to get it next paycheck.
All right.
I'm very looking forward to that, though, because that'll be... Hey, we're at episode 60.
Sweet.
I'm exporting to my Mac now. All right. That was a fun show. So we're at their post show now. So what we do here is we just are making sure our files get up to date and everything. But it was a good time tonight, I think.
Oh, yeah, good show tonight.
Yeah. So let's see. What do we got people in the chat saying here? Any prize for second place? I'm working on that, Mike. I'm going to try to get something for you. I'm trying. We are going to do it again, though, I think, for Core 21. So.
Yeah, which is in a month, basically.
Yeah. Arena code, he's saying. I'll work on that. I still invite you guys to play D&D. I'm in a D&D right now. If you guys are up to it when this is a little crazy with the virus, check my new table edition on your Discord for an epic one-day build. Do you play D&D, Aramis?
I used to play D&D, and I've been wanting to get back into it. It's just it's hard to find the time.
Yeah.
I guess it would depend on what time he does it.
Yeah, for me, I mean, we actually been doing it with my wife's ex-husband and the kids. Mm-hmm. So there's like 6 of us, and we're doing all right. We're having a good time with it. My oldest is DMing, and he's doing a good job, and I kind of want to do it. I want to try a DM. I've played a few or 3 now, campaigns, but I'll see how things go. It's one of those things like...
Well, hey, I mean, we have the technology for it. I would love to video in or stream in and join that campaign.
Yeah, we could do that. It could be done.
It can absolutely be done.
It very well could be done. Discord alone will do it. So, and Discord's doing video now. Like, I'm going to try to find I don't think I want to try to find a way to stream us on Discord. I like the fact that we're using the Twitch and things of that nature. Right. To have it stream on Discord too, it seems like we're splitting the audience. So, CC, I didn't see his. Somebody commented in Twitter. CC Runner Tempest, I didn't see your thing, man. He said, hate that card in Commander. I'm not sure what card he means. Maybe Atraxa. Everybody loves Atraxa.
Everybody hates Atraxa.
Atraxa is amazing. I will not have you disparaging my lovely Atraxa.
Atraxa single-handedly turned off your wife from playing. So.
Hey. That wasn't what turned her off. The fact that I'm so damn good when playing her turned her off.
Because
the fact that she's a whiny crybaby turned her off.
I will throw things at you.
You have nothing to throw.
I've had tequila.
Oh, dear God. Oh, shit.
You are a dead man.
Send help.
Nope.
I'm going to
scrape yourself, my friend.
Moving this over here. Not the bottle of water.
You flinched.
I was afraid. The cap's off. No. Oh, I should have took the cap off. You would have split it yourself. Never share an office with your spouse. Just don't do it. You think it'll work out well. It doesn't. She can't hear me. She has headphones on. She's on her, although she had her Discord the other night, her guildies. I was having a blast with them. Oh, it was great.
They thought you were hysterical.
They did think I was funny.
Yeah, now you're funnier than I am.
I am funnier than you. Honey, how is this a thing? Of course I'm funnier than you.
I am damn funny.
Jesus. Honey, let's face it. You're the brains.
Oh God, here it goes.
I'm the humorous neighbor. I'm the one you bring on the show for comic relief.
Oh, boy.
So, yeah, I'm definitely... Does Winata have only one? Only one what? Nut?
One arm? Yeah, she only has one arm.
Oh, okay.
I think her companion, bit it off when they first met or something like that.
He would work around you guys. Actually, I'm passing the invite out. How about when the shop opens up, I'll bring my setup with me. It's an hour drive for me. Steve, where the hell are you? Oh, he's down in Brooklyn, I think. It's a little bit more than an hour. We're not at the Poughkeepsie store. We're in the Catskill store, but shit, yeah.
Jeez.
Oh, my God, that would be... You know what? Maybe we will. Maybe I'll talk to Steve and be like, listen, when you go open, let us do a live thing. Like, you know, when you do the grand open... I don't know. See, that's just it. It's not like we can have grand openings either. Like, we still have to social distance. You still have to, like, watch...
Masks and everything else. It's going to be
And
tough.
the masks are a pain in... I'm sorry. And I know I'm a jerk. I mean, I'm not a jerk because I wear it, but... I hate wearing masks. I
hate it too. I absolutely despise it. But you know what? Until I don't have to, I'm gonna.
Right. And I get that. And
so should everyone else.
Right.
Getting off my high horse now.
Yeah, watch it there. Watch it there, horsey.
Well, I mean, we've beaten enough of them, so I might as well ride one.
I just miss the Oko Dead Horse. The Oko Dead Horse was fun.
Yeah.
Remember the days of Oko?
I tried not to. I mean, that's really like an acid flashback to Nam, man.
Really? Nam?
No, not
you know,
really.
my uncle is in Vietnam. You know, the one who's dying of corona right now. I shouldn't say that we're still in here. No, I miss... That's kind of tearing me up, actually, that one. But, let's see here. Did the sound save? It should have.
Uh-oh.
Hold on a second here. Hold the phone.
Oh, boy.
Well, if it didn't, I mean, that's why we do the video. Like, I have a recording.
Hey, look. Ad card. Bye-bye.
Oh, those ad cards. Why?
Why? Put another token on the back. Nobody cares. You're buying magic cards. You're going to buy more magic cards.
Yeah.
Don't put the ad in there.
Exactly. So, oh, good. The sound's recorded, so we're good to go. Is your stuff in Dropbox yet?
Not yet. I wait to do it at the end just in case my computer goes stupid.
Oh, that's right. So, all right. So,
good so far.
let's see. We got some other people still hanging around. I use it for streaming. Oh, good. Yes. I do like Discord. Don't get me wrong. I'm learning about it. 2 hours then. Okay, he's saying he's 2 hours from us. I could 3D print you guys some of the straps for the mask so they don't sit on your ears all day. I actually, what I bought was actually one of those ski masks that go on just over the nose and the ears and the mouth, and with Velcro. It's been perfect for me. I've always wanted to be an agent of Cobra, so now I feel like I can. I actually walk into Walmart sometimes. I'll be like, Cobra! And one guy was like, Yo, Joe. I'm like, yes, this guy gets it.
That's awesome. I like that.
Usually they look at me like I have 6 heads, though. I mean, it's not everybody. I'm like, okay. But it's like, you feel like that. If you're covering like the bottom half of your face, you feel like a Cobra agent.
That's why I felt when I went to Kerwin's. I'm like, I'm standing outside waiting for him to open the door so I can get my cards, and I have my mask on, and I'm just like, is this a drug deal or something? What the hell's going on?
Yo, man, you got my cardboard crack?
You got my shit, man?
I got it right here, man. All right. Well, all right. Walter, nice. All right, guys. I think we're going to call it, I guess. Mm-hmm. So we will see you. Yeah, I mean, what do you think? What do you got? What do you got? What is that?
Rocos.
Nice. I'm going to open my box. We have to save 6 packs, right? We decide we're doing a sealed, or are we just going to play Commander?
I'm gonna keep 6 packs anyway. There's no reason that we can't do that later.
All right, so I'll keep 6 packs. It's hard because I want to open 6 packs. There's 6 packs I can't open. If I don't open a Luca, those 6 packs will haunt me. Like, because again, I haven't opened a Luca yet. I didn't open a Garuda. I had to buy Garuda. Like, those were like the cards I wanted. I haven't opened one damn card I wanted yet.
That guy?
Shut up. I mean, I have 4 now, but I bought them.
Yeah.
Now I'll do nothing but open them. There'll be like 6 of them in this new box.
Yep, that's what's going to happen.
I will shoot you guys an email. We can iron out a plan for a D&D session and a Video Commander game. Here's what we're going to do for Video Commander. I mean, we could take 2 guys, 2 of our listeners, 2 of our Planeswalker patrons.
Ooh.
Take 2 of them and 2 of us. I mean, you and I can't be on screen, but
right.
our tables can. And
I got a face for radio anyway.
Dude, we could totally do that.
I'm down with that. I'm down with that. I mean,
Thursday. What do you want to do? What are you doing Wednesday?
8 o'clock Eastern or later. I have all night at that point.
What about Wednesday?
Sure.
All right. So those of you who are bonus, who are stayed for the bonus, Steve, Walter, Mike, any of you, you know. And here's the thing, guys. Don't take it personal. I'm going to take my patrons first. Come on in. Wednesday night, let me know. Email us. Be like, hey, I want to play Commander. What we'll do is I'll send you the invite code to this Be Live that we use. You'll need a webcam of some sort. You can use your phone. You can join by your phone. But if you join by your phone, I want you to make sure you're mic'd up so that we can hear you. You can't just use the mic that's on your phone. I want you to have a headset. Because
you're also going to have some way to have the phone set up so we can see
your board. Right. So, I mean, it really is going to be that, you know, but I want it to look good. I want it to be done right. What we'll do is we'll have Aramis and I.
I'm playing a pre-con straight out of the box, so go easy.
And Aramis, what we can do, do you have 2 webcams? Oh, you only have the one webcam. But that's okay. I mean, I'll be face on and I can switch my input. So, but we're looking at doing this then Wednesday night, 7 o'clock, okay? 8?
7:30 maybe?
7:30.
I usually take
because it's Commander. It's Commander. We want to make sure we're, you know, I'll try to find a way to get a scoreboard on the board, so that we don't have to worry about that. But yeah, I think I can do it with. I could do it with a crawl probably on the bottom. I could just set the crawl up. What's the crawl look like when it's on the bottom? Okay. So, that'll be a pain in the ass to manage though.
Yeah.
Let me see what
you might be. Is there
I could use my thing. No, you can only use the 4, but I can use my. I guess I can use my tablet and just lose part of my table is all. So
just be on top of it.
Yeah. So we'll do that, but we will, or maybe we'll also have. And you have to be in our Discord, and maybe that's where we'll keep our scores. So.
Something like that, yeah.
All right. We can iron out a plan for Dean's. Oh, okay. Well, Steve, we're looking at Wednesday. If you could do Wednesday at 7:30, which means, you know, you get into the Be Live around 7 for you guys. Aramis knows what he's doing. We know how to hook him up. Then once Aramis joins in, we'll go. And we will stream that both here. We'll stream it on our Twitch channel. We'll stream it on our YouTube. This will be a lot of fun. So we'll do that Wednesday night. That's awesome. Right. That's awesome. All right.
Commander,
all right. We're going to play some Commander Wednesday night. So, do we want to make it pre-con? I mean, I'm not going to play Atraxa because I'm not an asshole.
Yes, you are, but no, you're not.
I mean, none of mine are basic anymore. I've even messed with the humans. I mean, try to keep it. You know what, guys? Let's not come with grade A meta commander. I mean, you might have this super awesome commander. Try to come with like middle. Yeah, come with mid-range. Like, I have the human one I want to play, which is the brand new one. And the only thing I've done to it, really, guys, is I've added lands. I added the shock lands that I need and shit. That's it. So, and took out some of the tap lands because they're annoying as hell. So
I might, maybe I'll try to tinker with one of my precons a little bit, but I don't really have a ton of resources past
right.
Common. So
right. So I do. So that's gonna happen Wednesday night. Then I'm gonna play the new human command. Just go buy a deck, Aramis.
No, I have 2 precons.
Do it.
No.
Do it.
No.
I can make you. He won't use his Muldrotha. Yeah, no Muldrotha. No, if you can play Muldrotha, I can play. And then Aramis isn't gonna play. What'd you get? Oh, I love him, but I only need 1. I've got my 1.
I'm good. I got my 1.
Yeah, exactly. I have 4 Loris though, including 1 foil. So I'm kind of happy with that. So, all right. Well, let's shut this down. Again, if you want to play Wednesday, I'm going to put this in the Discord too. The first 2 patrons are in. So, and then other than that, Steve, I think you're not, but that's okay. You're kind of in, so I'm going to let you, we'll figure it out.
Sounds good to me, man.
My deck usually wins turn 5. No, you can't play that deck. I would, but don't have actual cards, just arena, but we'll definitely tune in. All right, thanks, Walter. So yeah, we'll find a 4th for Commander. We can we can make it work. So this will be fun. Right. This will be fun. All right, guys, we're going to shut down the stream now. It's been 90 minutes, so that's good. We'll see you guys on Wednesday. So take care. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Don't leave, Aramis.
I'm not going anywhere.
Well, you left last night. I was going to talk to you. I was like...
You closed everything.
No, I didn't close you out. It closed you out.
You closed out the one that was that had my video and audio feed.
I just closed your no, that's what happened. It was like your webcam, because your phone was on the same account. When I moved the webcam, it moved you out.
Yeah, that's what happened. I'm like, where the hell did he go?
Yeah, so I didn't mean to do that. I guess you guys convinced me to become a patron. Look at the screen, Aramis.
Nice.
Love me the money. Love me the money.
Very nice.
All right.
And if he's got a commander deck that can win turn 5, he could probably go planeswalker level.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. So this will be fun Wednesday. Yeah, you come when you can. Like I said, I'm gonna try to get the guys in there between 7:30 to get the tech stuff out of the way.
Yeah, I'll probably be able to get there like right around 8. If I can pawn off my wife putting Ollie to bed, I might be able to be in like 15 minutes earlier. Right.
So, and I'll join. I'm gonna end up joining with my AirPods. I'll join with my phone and my AirPod. So.
Okay. I got my webcam.
Because that's where
my webcam and mic. That's all I'm gonna need.
I don't think I've ever showed you this. Like, see what I have here. This is what I got at Walmart. So I think I can pull my camera around. Oh shit! Oh shit!
Loud noises.
Loud noises. Oh, wait, I'm still streaming on the other one. Hold on. I forgot I didn't stop the